with agricultural news, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A mostly sunny good morning to you. I hope your day is going well for you, wherever you might be. Terry Henne here at Radio Center, along with Matthew Lester, and we've got ourselves, Matthew, an absolutely gorgeous morning out there.
Yes, we do.
Temperatures working their way up. What are we at right now?
Well, over at the airport, it's sunny at 72. Over in Midland, it's partly sunny at 72. Here at Radio Center, it's sunny at 73. We have southwest winds at 5 miles per hour, and our pressure's at 30.29, and it's steady.
We've had the opportunity to enjoy an absolutely delightful evening last night. Temperatures really didn't get all that cool. Matter of fact, we're running almost 10 degrees above normal overnight. And today is just a beautiful day. We'll take a little bit more of a look at the weather, Matthew, in just a moment. But I'm talking beautiful weather. I don't know about those New York markets. Let's find out what's going on with Steve Anderson over at Baird & Company. Stephen, good morning. Are you there, Steve? Nope, I don't hear him. Maybe he'll try to call back here in just a minute or two, Matthew. As far as our weather goes, we are looking, as I said, at a really nice day today. By the time the day is all done, we should be hitting that 80-degree mark, if not a little bit more. Then we're going to be only dropping down to the middle 50s for a low tonight. A few clouds around, but nothing major. It promises to be a very nice evening for anything that's going on outside. And tomorrow, as well as Sunday, we're going to be looking at some super nice weather as well. Tomorrow's high should be right around 75, 76, so not quite as warm tomorrow as what it will be today. And Sunday will be just a hair cooler once again, looking at a high of 73. But all the way through this period, we are going to be looking at temperatures above average, because we should be 71 in the afternoon and 49 at night. Now, I think we've got Steve on the line. Steve Anderson from Baird & Company, good morning.
And good morning, Terry. I think we kind of got lost there for a minute.
Yeah, well, yesterday you guys didn't have any power over there.
Yeah, we got completely lost yesterday. We were...
Totally. Well, speaking of totally lost, I hope the guys in New York aren't.
Nope, they don't seem to be. We've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Right now, it is ahead by 67 points, putting it at 34,138 on 214 million shares. The NASDAQ's ahead by 120, putting it at 13,344, and the volume there is 282 million shares.
So, the tip of the day, how do we deal with all this, Steve?
Well, I mentioned the other day, and I'm going to mention it again because it's just so frightening to me, is it's not too early to start looking at your year-end planning for tax planning and such. You'll want to go through and review your portfolio, see what you've got in there that maybe you don't want to have, take a look at what your gains and losses may have been, and check with your tax professional to see what you may want to do to maximize the returns, minimize the taxes, and get yourself prepared for next year, because generally each year there's a little bit different theme that may be there, and so something that you have now that you really want that's doing really well might not going to be, and something you have in there that's not doing very well right now might well start. So start thinking ahead. It's a lot better and easier to do that instead of waiting until the second half of December and then trying to figure that out.
Yeah, you got to scramble then. Steve, for more information, how to handle all of this, how do we get a hold of you folks?
Well, you call us in Saginaw right here at 989-790-5724. You can reach our Midland location of Baird at 989-839-9035. And you can find us on the web at RW Baird. That's BAIRD www.weatherforecastbranch.com, and each branch and each rep can be found in there.
All right. You have a nice weekend. We'll talk to you
I
on
will.
Monday, okay?
It sounds good. Sounded like you were planning a decent weather weekend for me.
We sure are. Get out and enjoy it, okay?
Got to get the boats out.
Got to get her out. Steve Anderson over at Baird and Company. Record high in this state, as we mentioned yesterday, we had quite a string of record highs in 2017. 94 was the record on this day. And we had a whole slew of very hot and humid weather conditioned days for several in a row the end of September. Record low on this date is 32, and that was set back in 1999. Sun will set this evening at 7:34, rise tomorrow morning at 7:24. Incidentally, the warmest ever, September the 22nd, was set in 2017. Our high was 94 and our low was 64. The coldest, that was set back in 1974. 51 was our high and 33 was our low. A year ago, we didn't set anything on fire, Matthew. Our high was 62 and our low was 44. I think I'll take this year. What do you think?
Yeah, I'll take this year too.
I think so. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Standing by, we have who?
Up next, we have Gary Kaufman from Star of the West and Doug Klein from Oppenheimer.
But before we get to them, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrient Ag Solutions.
Nutrient Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrient Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrientagsolutions.com.
Say, do you want to unlock the secret to higher yields? If you're applying dry fertilizer, the key to better yield potential is Titan XC. Titan XC is a fertilizer biocatalyst that unlocks and releases the bound up nutrients in granular fertilizer, promoting better root uptake and plant growth. Drive performance this season and beyond. Release more nutrition. Expect better results with Titan XC. For more information, visit lpi.ag/unlock or contact your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant today. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Ed Raymond & Sons, quality clothing and shoes since 1919. Talking Carhartts, Red Wing shoes and boots, Stormy Cromer accessories. You are talking about Ed Raymond. Celebrating more than 100 years at 151 West Broad Street in Chesaning. Check them out by going to edraymond's.com. We say good morning to Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. And Gary, it looks like we're finishing the week off with a little bit of green.
Yeah, we need a little green to catch up, Terry, for sure. So, there's it's been one of those weeks again. We since last Friday's close, wheat's down about a quarter this week. Actually, corn stayed pretty much unchanged, down about a penny. And then soybeans was the big red marker this week, down 41 cents thus far. So for the week. So,
any particular reason why they're just they're getting tired of red and wanted a little green, or what's going on?
Yeah, basically, export sales for corn and beans continue to be below expectations, Terry. We've seen that again yesterday on the corn and soybean sales. If you look at the cumulative corn sales to date, we're about 462 million bushel, and that's about 146 million bushel behind what's needed to meet the USDA's current annual estimate of just a hair over 2 billion bushels. And of course, this cumulative soybean sales are only 628 million, about 84 million behind the pace needed to meet the current USDA numbers. But if we look at South America, they're selling to China. China does buy a little bit from the U.S., but the offers out of Brazil are almost $2 cheaper, Terry, than what it's offered out at the U.S. Gulf for our January shipment moving forward. So just something to think about down the road. Demand's going to drive this thing. We got another crop coming ahead of us. Even though the last report, we came off of, lower stocks, but the fund liquidations have kind of kind of drove this thing down this week. So,
So on the board right now, what do you have?
Well, let's call cash wheat up 3, Terry, at 529 on the white, 469 on the red. New crop for next year up 3 as well at 622 on the white, 547 on the red. Let's call cash and new crop corn unchanged at 410, and cash and new crop soybeans up a nickel at 12.19.
Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday, Gary.
Sounds good. You as well, Terry.
All
Thank
righty.
you.
Gary Kaufman over at Star of the West. A little bit more in depth as far as what's going on in Chicago. Not only the grain futures, but also some of the related issues. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining me. The market report brought to you by Schaefer and Beerline. The seasons are changing, and so is the new Ram truck inventory at Schaefer and Beerline. 2023 HDs are still coming in, and the 2024 1500s are arriving. So if you're in the market for a new Ram 1500, a Ram heavy-duty pickup, a ProMaster van, or a Ram commercial truck, and you want to buy with confidence from a business-linked dealer that knows what customer satisfaction truly is, Schaefer and Beerline is where you should go, where family and service sells cars. And by the folks at Thumb Bank, serving the needs of agriculture for well over 125 years. And now they've got 13 locations throughout the Thumb and the Great Lakes Bay region. Thumb Bank, where relationships are built on trust. Doug Klein, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, we're going to wrap up the week of trading. How?
Yeah, sort of a, we'll call it a relief rally, dead cat bounce sort of thing. Don't know if it'll last all day, but a lot of green, not big green, but some. I heard that Russia has permanently banned exporting diesel fuel, heating oil. So that's probably one of the reasons why that commodity in particular is more expensive than gasoline or just ridiculously overpriced. So that's going. That's on the table. Deere got a downgrade. That's unusual, but one of the Wall Street firms downgraded them. They're down to 380.
Okay.
Yeah, down another 2%. So down 11% for the year to date. So that's kind of interesting. They hit 450 back in July, end of July, and now they're 380. So they've come down a step or two. It kind of makes sense, with the price of commodities coming down. It seems to me that it's hard to buy a $1 million combine with $4 corn, but what do I know? Thank goodness I don't have to do that.
I was going to say, boy, it's not very easy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's got to be a real. You got to have a really sharp pencil to be able to do stuff like that.
It's not like you got a lot of options out there either. A combine's a combine.
Right. I guess you got to have one.
Yeah.
Anyhow, well, here's your numbers. December corn, 475.5, up a quarter of a penny. The March corn is 490.5, up a half a penny. November soybeans, 1298.5, up 4 3/4. March soybeans, 1325 3/4, up 3 1/2. The December wheat is 577.5, up 1 3/4, and the March wheat is 604, also up 1 3/4. Crude oil slipped below 90, 89.95, up 32 cents. Heating oil is 326.5, that is down 2.7 cents. Gasoline 253.5, that's down 3 1/4 cents. Natural gas is unchanged, 261. What are currencies? Canadian dollar. U.S. dollar buys $1.3465 Canadian. That's down 18 ticks. The dollar buys 148.21 yen. That's up 63 ticks. The euro is at 106.63. That's down 5 ticks. The dollar is at 105.46, up 10 ticks. Gold is at $19.29, up $7.80. Silver is $23.88, up 19 cents. And platinum's at $937.40, up $12.80.
All right. You have a good one.
Oh, yep. You too.
We'll talk to you next week, okay? Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Going to take a break, and then who do we have up next, Matthew?
Up next, we have Kim Weiss from Lingual Equipment.
Hey, new vehicle shoppers. Between out-of-control rising interest rates and rising prices, what do you do and where do you go to do it? You guessed it. You head to Cook Chevrolet at the very top of the hill in Vassar. At Cook Chevrolet, we work tirelessly finding solutions to help you beat inflation. And the best solution this month is in. It's the Chevy Equinox and Chevy Blazer. Forget interest rates and forget high sticker prices. At Cook Chevrolet, you'll find the Chevy Equinox leases have dropped. You heard me right, dropped to less than $300 a month, just $295. And the larger Chevy Blazer is now as low as $309. Payments haven't been lower than these in years, and these are 2024 Equinoxes and Blazers from $295 and $309. That's Cook Chevrolet M15 top of the hill in Vassar. P.S. We've got almost 100 Silverado pickups in stock and on the way.
Payments based on GM employee and family lease. 10,000 miles per year and includes all rebates. 2,000 cash or trade down. Call or visit us online at cookchevysuperstore.com. Chevy, find new roads.
How do you make the most of your land? Shaw does it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1025R compact tractor.
Why do I go by Shaw? Shaw stands for skilled hands at work.
And he lives up to the name as he uses his versatile tractor to
make my yard look as beautiful as I possibly can.
But the Hubbards use their 1025R to
do both vegetables and my flowers. It's exciting, putting yourself out there, learning something new.
And with a long list of easy-to-attach implements, ranging from a front loader to a box blade and backhoe, they both can make
the earth take the shape that I want it to take.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. How will you make the most of yours? Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1-Series tractor for just $130 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Contact one of Tri-County Equipment's 11 locations in Auburn Hills, Bad Axe, Birch Run, Burton, Caro, Fenton, Lapeer, Marlette, Reese, Saginaw, or Sandusky, or visit Tri-County Equipment online at tricountyequipment.com.
Some folks doing a little field work out there right now, and I think they've got a few questions, like what should they be doing? Everything is running so late this year. Soil health, obviously, really important. Wanting to get some wheat in. It looks like farmers might have to wait a little bit longer to do it. And what does later planted wheat hold when it comes to yield? What's the law of averages there? Well, you got some questions. Vic Huffer over at Freeland Bean and Grain could probably help you out. He's a certified crop agronomist advisor, and he's got answers to the questions that you might have. Vic's available at Freeland Bean and Grain. You just give him a call, because serving you since 1983, Freeland Bean and Grain is all about serving you. That is their business. Speaking of that is their business, serving you, Kim Weiss over at Lingle Equipment joining me right now. And Kim, we've got some absolutely beautiful weather and everything is growing like crazy right now.
Yes, Terry, and people are still having to mow lawn every week. The grass doesn't quit growing. So I got to thinking, there might be a machine that you need to mow lawn, to plow snow in the wintertime, move that dairy dew around in your flower beds and all that, and that's the Kubota BX 2680 subcompact tractor. 26 horse hydro transmission, 4-wheel drive. You got your front loader on it. This is a whole package deal that I put together. It's 60-inch mid-mount mower, and you can add attachments to that 3-point hitch, whether it be a box blade, a regular blade, anything you want to put on there to get the job done and get it done right the first time and make your lawn and your yard and your farm look better than it ever has before. And that is with a BX 2680. Stop in here and see me. I got it right here on the show floor, but that complete package, you can be into it for $19,100. Come in and see me. Let's work out the details, and we can get that tractor out to your house to get that property looking better than it ever has before. Mm-hmm. Kubota is the tractor, the subcompact tractor to own. Come on in and see me here at Lingle Equipment. We're right alongside I-75, just south of Zilwaukee Bridge. Or give me a call at 989-752-7801. Or send me an email at k.weiss, W-E-I-S-S, at lingle1.com.
All right. Kim, you take care. Have a great weekend.
You too, Terry. I just got 2 RTV camos in. Hunting is just a little better than a week away. I believe it's next week or the week after next. come on and see them too. They're here as well.
Boy, you haven't had those for a while.
For a long time, but they're starting to come in now, and we're starting to see some good inventory. Come on in and see me, and we'll see what we can do to make it work.
Kim Weiss at Lingle Equipment, take care. All righty? Kim Weiss, Lingle Equipment, over just off I-75. Reminder, we're talking about equipment, that soybean harvest equipment field day. That is scheduled now for a week from today. It'll be Friday, December the 29th. It'll be over in the Yale area. If you'd like more information, here's a telephone number, 269-673-0370. Again, that is pre-registration for the field day. There is no cost involved, but they'd kind of like to know how many people would plan on showing up. So again, if you do have questions regarding the field day, there's also a CARO number that you might be able to use. That's the Tuscola County MSU extension, 989-672-3870. Well, Kim mentioned about moving some dairy dew around. Why don't we slide over to Maple Hill Nursery right now? Chuck Cervinsky is joining me. And Chuck, we talk a lot about dairy dew. And when it comes to pruning trees and shrubs and possibly putting new ones in, you got some advice for us.
Yeah, we're receiving a lot of calls right now on when to prune trees and shrubs. When's the best time? Probably the best time from the standpoint, of the health of the plant is always late winter to early spring, just before new growth resumes for the year. But there's a lot of exceptions to that, depending on when the plant flowers. They may require pruning at other times of the season. Spireas and lilacs grew really good this summer. Right now is a pretty good time to trim those back. A lot of rejuvenation, pruning going on right now too. And it still gives the plant time to set its bud heads for spring. And if you trim flowering plants early in the spring, it's going to destroy flowers for the next season. And when you prune, you're going to want to make sure you cut back to where a branch originates on the main limb, and don't leave stubbles from branches. But rejuvenation pruning, if you've got stuff that just went nuts all summer, like maybe a burning bush, it's okay to trim that back now.
Okay. And basically what we're trying to do is take off as many branches?
Yeah, anything that's dead or diseased or branches that kind of grew out of control, that's what you want to trim back right now. And you could always go back and do it again later on, in the later winter towards early spring.
Is it a good idea to seal those off?
Definitely. You're going to want to use a pruning sealer. We try to use that on anything over 3/4 of an inch in diameter. You're going to want to definitely seal that off so it doesn't seep out on you.
So for any questions, how do we get a hold of you, Chuck?
You can get a hold of us here at the store at 989-835-4708. You can visit our website at www.maplehillmidland.com.
And your hours right now, Chuck?
We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 5:30, and we're here on Saturdays, 8 until 4.
Boy, you got a nice weekend.
We do. This weather's perfect for planting right now.
It sure is. Chuck Cervinsky, you take care. We'll talk to you again next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Chuck Cervinsky, Maple Hill Nursery in Midland. Matthew, is Stephanie Zelenko on the line with us?
Yes, we do. How are you doing, Stephanie?
Hi, Stephanie. How you doing?
Hi. I'm good, thank you.
Well, I brought you some sunshine, and I brought you some 80-degree temperatures. Do you like it or don't you?
I do like it. We still need some growing degree units. I went to a meeting earlier this week, and at that point in time, the data was a week or two old. We're about 50 units behind kind of our average. So this weekend will kind of help us get caught up there in that area.
Now, what does losing base 50 growing degrees mean to a lot of our crops, especially as we're moving into harvest?
Just those growing degree days is what's going to help us finalize and mature that crop. And the biggest one we're concerned about is the corn side of things. That's just going to help reach that black layer and that dense stage and get that dried down. So we're having to spend less dollars when we come to harvest and having to run that through a dryer.
And you bring up a really good question, or not question, but a really good topic, dry down. What does it look like right now? Are we going to have to get the dryers out?
We are definitely going to have to get the dryers out unless we get a number of these nice high 70s, low 80s days. Corn is drying down, but we're probably still in those 30s for most, day lengths. Right on that 100-day corn. The few we pulled were sampling in those mid 30s. So we have some time yet, but as the days get shorter and less sun and heat, we're just going to take advantage of every opportunity we have.
I know some folks like to put wheat on dry bean or soybeans. Dry bean harvest is going right now, and soybean harvest is a little bit away yet, isn't it?
I've seen some soybeans that look like they're getting close, but not a whole lot. And I really think we'll notice a huge difference after this warm weekend, going into the middle part of next week. We'll start seeing some of those bean leaves drop or even turn more yellow than they already are. And so hopefully that will help us out and progress that harvest window up a little bit.
I've had some folks tell me that the soybeans are a little bit different color, some of them. Is that like something that we should concern ourselves with?
I don't believe so. I think as varieties change and as years are different, we had a later planting season than normal. We really haven't had as much heat as we have anticipated, just due to that shortened growing season. So I think it may look different to us, but it's probably not, in reality, hugely different than what our average year is.
All right. Stephanie, you take care. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Have a good weekend.
I will. We'll be right back.
Did it go okay when your insurance agent sat down with you to review the coverage checklist for your farm so you wouldn't have to worry about uncovered areas? You have reviewed your coverages lately, right? If not, maybe your agency should be the Emil Rummel Agency. At the Emil Rummel Agency, it's our job to understand the various risks you face every day on your farm, and then provide you with the right insurance policy that is based on your needs. If your current insurance agent is not offering this kind of service, it's time you talked with the Emil Rummel Agency, because we listen and then we respond to what we hear. The Emil Rummel Agency is located in Frankenmuth, Vassar, Caro, and in Saginaw. Call us today at 800-572-0939. That's 800-572-0939. Or visit us on the web at rummelinsurance.com.
Back at 12:30 with an update.